Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to do a musing video looking at the weather towards the end of July, in fact towards the end of the month, and it does look as though, well, there's been a question mark about the latter part of July ever since July started really, and I did my month-ahead forecast. There really has been a question mark about the last stages, the last week to 10 days of this month, and would it give us warmer weather, drier weather, more in way of summery conditions. The question mark is still there, but I think we are coming to a resolution on this now, and it definitely looks, I think, like we're going to see some warmer, drier weather as we go towards the last week or so of July. Now, I wouldn't necessarily promise you a heat wave. I don't think it is necessarily going to get really hot, but I think it will dry out and warm up quite substantially, really, compared to what's gone on throughout most of July once we get through to the last week or so of this month. So we'll have a look at all this in a moment. We'll talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad overlaying my web videos here at GavsWeatherVids.com. Please play both video ads. You'll be supporting GavsWeatherVids.com by doing that. So as we normally do, we're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly charts. We've got the ECMWF here on the left, the GFS on the right. You know the story by now, but I have to explain this in case anybody's watching this video for the first time. Height anomaly charts are really giving us the telling us the temperature at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars, and it's at where we've got the temperatures, that's where we are expecting to see high pressure or low pressure. And it's where those high pressure and low pressure areas being moved around by the jet stream that gives us weather. So where we've got these orange colours here, the yellow and orange colours, that's where we're seeing above average temperatures at 500 millibars, and that necessarily is really where we've got the above average pressure. Where we've got the blue colours, that's where we've got cooler than average temperatures at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. And that is where we've got the low pressure, say if the jet stream moves those areas of high pressure, low pressure around, that's what gives us our weather. Now this is for 8 to 10 days time, so this is taking us now towards the latter stages of July. This is the ECMWF, and it's showing we've got a big positive anomaly setting up here just to the west of the country. So high pressure is building through the Atlantic. And the other thing that's important about this is that we're losing the upper trough over Scandinavia. That's beginning to weaken and drop southwards, drop out of Scandinavia. So what will probably happen with this, we're also pushing the jet streams northwards here, as indicated by these lines here. They're going northwards. So I think what will probably be the result of this is this area of high pressure building out west would eventually start to move more towards us, and maybe start to get more towards Scandinavia. And of course it's over us and to the east of us that we need the high pressure to be to get the really settled weather. The GFS is very similar. Again, we've got the above average heights to the west of the country. So again, this is telling us that we've got high pressure building to the west of the country. The jet stream is being pushed northwards. It's still more or less tracking across Scotland here, actually. But all the time I think it is going northwards. We're losing the trough over Scandinavia. So yes, I think we are getting the opportunity here to build this high pressure in from the west and maybe set it up over us or even to the east of us. Now I want to have a quick look at the 500 millibar height anomalies from the Beijing Climate Centre. The Beijing Climate Centre is the model I use to make my month-ahead forecast. These are breaking down into weekly periods. So this first anomaly that you're looking at is the latest anomaly for the next period. This is from the 11th to the 20th of July. So this is ready for the period we're in now. And unsurprisingly, we're seeing below average heights there around the British Isles. In fact, below average heights throughout most of Central and Northern Europe as well. So that is telling us that we know this anyway because it's pouring with rain right now, but we've got low pressure dominating across most of Northwest Europe. High pressure is up over to the north of us, over Iceland and up to Greenland. But just have a look what happens as we get to the next anomaly. This is a complete switch around, and this is for the 21st to the 30th of July. The Beijing Climate Centre model has always been going for this for the last week or so of July. It's always been suggesting that high pressure will start to come into play, and that's what it's doing on here. We're bringing above average heights in a complete contrast to the first chart. We've got above average heights developing over the British Isles, and above average heights really there across much of Central and Northern Europe. That really is a big switch around. Just look at that from the period we're in now, the 11th to the 20th. All those blue colours there, all the below average heights across most of Europe, to what we get from the 21st to the 30th. High pressure above average heights really dominating the scene. So that's a big change around there. But as I say, the Beijing Climate Centre model has always been going for this. For the last week or so of the month, it's stuck to its guns. It looks like it's coming off. So if we have a look at the GFS ensembles, well, these are the current temperature ensembles, these lines here. We see that temperatures are below average. Of course, it's very wet and cold. They're going to push up a bit above average for a time early next week. It will get a bit warmer, then may drop back again, and then may really start to pick up as we go towards the last week or so of July. We've got the lines really pushing up above the red line. Red is where the temperature should be at the time of year. Remember, the lines are really pushing up above that red line, some getting well above. So yes, it could turn quite a bit warmer, I think, than the last week or so of the month. Precipitation spikes. Well, we've got precipitation spikes at the moment here, and into next week when we get back dipping the temperature around the middle of next week. But then the precipitation spikes do start to ease off for the last week or so of the month. So warmer, drier, definitely being predicted here, I think, for southern parts of the country at least. So the GFS pressure charts finally, and here we have for early next week, Tuesday the 17th, we've got a ridge of high pressure to the south, pushing low pressure off to the north. So this is a bit warmer and dry for the start of next week. We just saw that on the ensemble. It will turn a bit warmer and dry for the start of next week. Then it turns unsettled again later next week. Another low pressure comes through. We flatten that ridge off and we pull down west to northwesterly winds, so it'll turn showery again through the middle of next week and quite cool. But then we start to see the high pressure begin to build back up from the southwest as we get through to Friday the 20th. So this is a week's time, 168 hours. That high pressure then will become much more of a dominating feature across the country as we go into the Monday the 23rd of July. So this is 10 days away. That high pressure really showing signs of starting to take over then. It's still not in a perfect position. A perfect position is right centered over us or to the east to northeast. It's not in a perfect position, but it certainly is looking better. For the ECMWF model, well, there's the low pressure coming through the middle of next week, turning it more unsettled and cooler again through the middle part of next week. But then, as we get through to Friday the 20th, a week's time, high pressure begins to build in from the west as we go towards Monday the 23rd. There's that high pressure ridging in, looking quite nice there, particularly focused for England and Wales. Will be warm, dry, sunny, temperatures probably up to around 25 degrees. Perhaps if this came off 77 Fahrenheit, that would certainly be a change on what we've had. And then finally for the Canadian model, the GM, well again, there's the unsettled weather through the middle of next week with this low pressure, but look what it does as we get through to Monday the 23rd. This one is actually starting to bridge the high pressure off to the east of the country. This is probably the best chart of the day actually. If this came off, it would be giving nearly all of us warm, dry weather, and that high pressure is getting into a position where it could actually start to bring in some quite hot weather from the south and the southeast. So if you're looking for summer, the Canadian is definitely the best model of the day. But in any case, the evidence I think is definitely growing now that we are going to see a change in the weather for the final week to 10 days of July, particularly from around the 23rd, 24th onwards. Much warmer, drier weather could well be on the way, a taste of summer. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Remember to come back tomorrow for the week ahead forecast. That's it for now.